Go Oaktown.
Let's play ball.
Look out, here we go.
Here it is.
This is going to get ugly here.
It is.
Hello, everybody. It's Schmitty with a live Skaters on Baseball. We have good news. The Dodgers have lost game 2. Very excited about that. So that means that the Mets are going home with a 1-1 tie in the series, and they're going to play games 3, 4, and 5 in New York. And Christian's running a little late today, but guess what? I got friends. Curtis Franklin's in the house, y'all. Hold on.
What up?
I think I might even have a little. No, it couldn't be that good. Oh, wait a minute. Wait for it. No. How you doing, dude? Are you feeling good?
Can you hear me? Is everything good?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect. I had some issues trying to get in, but I'm good now.
All right. We're stoked because it's 5-2 in the ninth. We got the Yankees over Cleveland.
Right.
And the Dodgers have already lost. I'm kind of into the day game where the Dodger loses because I get off work and I'm just fired up.
Dude, I was tripping out because I didn't even know the game was on in the afternoon. I didn't know they did day games still. I thought it was all in the evening.
Yeah, no, they do.
Good, I like that.
Today, but tomorrow they'll be on the road. So like when there's 2 games, you know what I mean? They don't put them at the same time. Tomorrow it's just Yankees and Guardians because they're traveling back to New York, and then they'll play 3. So, dude, if the Mets can just hold serve, it's over.
They gotta just get the home thing going, and I'm feeling a lot better about it than I was last night because I was super just like, yeah, whatever, Dodgers are gonna win. Now I'm a lot more optimistic after today.
Yeah, I mean, me and Christian have been talking about it. It's like, okay, Flaherty pitched pretty good, and your bats came alive. Tip the hat. But these bullpen games, to bring in like 8 pitchers in one game, like sure, first inning guy goes great, second inning goes great, third inning guy goes great. It just takes one guy to get derailed and the whole thing can go messy. And these guys are starting to, it's pressure time, and they're the second round. So
dude threw like 50 pitches in 2 innings, man. It was like Knack, right? The Knack.
Yeah.
The Knack. So he got nailed. I'm surprised he was in as long as he was. But I can't believe they walked Lindor and boom. They should not have walked him. They should have just gone after him. Roberts blew that one, man. Thank God.
They're not paying attention because Vientos has been he's been really helping this team, man. I mean, Lindor's could be like in the top 3 for MVPs, but yeah, it's just it's same shit, like you walk Ohtani to face Mookie,
Yeah, and their OPSs are so much better than the Dodgers too. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They're 1,000 or whatever, and it's like it's crazy. Like I'm looking it up right now. Mets, I don't know. I'm on for them, but I do know that they're the number 1 like payroll in baseball too. So, but still, yeah, they're like. But
I thought Dodgers were.
No, I think the Dodgers because
deferring.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. Which I don't even want to get started on that shit.
Well, there's 2 outs in the top of the ninth, and we got Weaver pitching to Hedges. This game could be in the books. We got Taylor Swift there. We got Spike Lee. They're trying to keep up with Mary Hart and Rob Lowe. I don't know who's winning the.
Okay, Rob Lowe. I thought Rob Lowe was a Reds fan, but that's his brother, I think.
Oh, is it? I don't
brother's
know.
a
I mean,
huge
he's Hollywood, so I'm sure he's there.
They're from Cincinnati.
Who was the dude? What is it? Was it Charlie Sheen that just bought the whole outfield and sat out there by himself? He bought every ticket in the bleachers, and so he could sit out there by himself.
For the Reds or the
No,
Dodgers?
for the Dodgers. This was like years back, but it was
sounds about
kick-ass.
right. That's so rad. Whoa.
What do we got?
I got what's going on here.
We got the 0-2 to Hedges with the closer Weaver. He's in the windup. He throws. Here's the pitch.
And
fouled off.
The
four-seam fastball.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Here.
You're watching it on TV though, right?
No, I'm watching it on game day. It's like animated.
That is the most torturous way to watch baseball.
It's fucked.
And it's like late. And you got to
strikes him out, and the ball game is over. Austin Hedges sits down, and Weaver takes the save as the Yankees win game 1. And just as all that happens, Christian Cooper has arrived. Holy Toledo. Let's bring him on.
He just flew in from the game.
Howdy, boys. Curtis, Greg, what's going on?
Hey, well, the Yankees just wrapped it up 5-2.
Just saw that just now. Well,
how's it? How do you feel about this Dodger defeat today? Does that change your output on this series? I mean, we're going back to New York with home field advantage for the Mets. If they win all 3, it's over.
I'm good with it. I just think they got to keep up, keep a little roll going after what Mania gave him today, because that was brilliant what he did. And he probably could have gone deeper in the game. He was pitching really good. I think they were trying to preserve him for later in the series.
So he changes delivery a little bit, right?
His velo was up like 3-4 miles an hour from when he was on the Giants. He's got a better sinker now, I think. He was lights out today. I mean, it was great. He really shut him down. And I saw him pitch in Anaheim last year. He struck out Ohtani 2 straight times. So I'm liking the Mets' chances. They're going back home. Think it's gonna, the atmosphere in New York's gonna be crazy. Right.
How many Grimaces are going to be at the game?
I want to say there's going to be a few, and you know what? I'll take all the Grimaces in the world and hope never see Taylor Swift at a baseball game ever again.
Wow.
Good Lord. How many times do we have to see Spike Lee and Taylor Swift and her douchebag boyfriend? Like, I just don't want to see it, man. I want to see baseball.
I was just telling Curtis, I was like, who wins the battle of the bunk when it's Taylor Swift and Spike Lee versus Rob Lowe and Mary Hart?
Yeah, well, Mary Hart escaped from the wax museum every night for the Dodgers game, and then she's got to be back there before she melts.
Rob Lowe looks like wax on, wax off too. Maybe a little Botox.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what did you guys think? I mean, I thought the Mets were solid today. I thought it got a little sketchy in the late innings, and it was like, come on, you guys, keep up the pressure. And they had a lot more opportunities to score. They didn't cash in, right? I think that was the one thing I was like, ugh, like, you guys have put yourself in a position to potentially blow this out 13, 14 runs, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, they had that second round when they had the bases loaded again. I was just like, oh, man, just like a single and crack it open.
Yep.
I thought they were. So did you guys watch any of that game on TV, or did you guys all do game day all day?
Dude, I had to be at work, so I was just like seeing, game day.
Yeah, I have radio and game day because there's a Spectrum cable problem down here where they're arguing with Fox right now, so it's not available.
I didn't want to watch it on TV because I feel like I'm going to jinx it. So if I watch game day a couple times and I surf around the net and come back to it, like magical things will happen if I'm not watching.
Right. The only bummer about game day is that it's ahead of the radio by at least 3 or 4 pitches, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at game day and you're listening to the radio, you're like, oh crap, I already know what happened. And then you hear it, you know, I don't know. But dude, I love baseball on the radio. It's like when I was a kid, me and my dad were constantly listening to the Giants on the radio, and just like I learned how to visualize the game really well listening to it on radio, and I love it. You know, I love it.
Well, here's my problem with all of it is like there's 3 of us on group chat and we're going back and forth talking about like, oh, da, da, da. But I don't know who's on what fucking platform. So it's like, I want to hear about a home run before I see it. And it's like, I might be delayed or like, I don't know what's going on. So it gets all crazy.
Yeah. Well, dude, John Jay's guy, man. What the hell? Grandy and the
pitcher. Did you see the interview with him after the game?
Mm-mm.
He's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I did take it personal. Like you walked that guy to face me. And I had that in my mind. Like I was thinking that. And he's like, I was keeping it simple. Like I'm not saying I was getting a grand slam or nothing, but he was like, yeah, it was definitely in my mind. Like,
good.
Kind of insult, you know? I was like, dude, that guy's been playing really good all year. But it is tough to like, I mean, Lindor's great too. So yeah.
Well, I was totally thinking like, dude, you're gonna walk this guy to pitch to me. I'm gonna hurt you. You know.
How many times has Ohtani been walked between the San Diego series and these first 2 games?
Not that many. Not that many.
I think he walked twice today, but he was show for 4 otherwise.
Yep.
But not intentionally walked. There
are very few cases where they're intentionally walking him, pitching around him. You haven't seen a lot of that. You know, they're attacking him because he does have weak spots. You know, it's like if you can kind of burn him down and inside and then throw the high heat up around his face, he's going to swing, right?
He's got a big strike zone, man.
Yeah.
I think he has a tough time versus lefties too. No one talks about it, but like I think the lefties got his number a little bit.
Yeah. It's interesting how they've been pitching him. Like you would think if he comes up with guys on base, because his numbers with runners in scoring position is actually pretty damn good. Like that's the one time that he's kind of clutch, but the rest of the time he's been striking out a lot, and I love it. You know, because it just takes all the TV network juice and hype and just throws it in the trash.
Oh, it's the best. It's
so good. Commercials and New York this and LA that, and then the celebrity bullshit. I hate it. I really hate it.
It was great because it's like Ohtani struck out twice, and then it's like 4 more batters, and Ohtani will strike out again.
It's hilarious. Yeah,
that's just got to stop, man. If they run that in the World Series, well, hopefully they don't get to the World Series. What am I even talking about, man? Yeah, but so here's something that I think we all were aware of, at least Christian and I for sure, was if the Dodgers had picked up Anthony DeSclafani, ex-Red and forever Giant, then today's pitchers would have all been ex-Giants. They had Rodon. We had Rodon versus Alex Cobb in the American League game. And then Manaea was pitching against Mr. TBD in the National League game. And so we had like all these ex-Giants, and that was pretty funny. We were cracking up about, of course, there's the Giant guy in the postseason not wearing black and orange.
We got to come up with a name that TBD spells out, something like, I don't know, Thomas Benjamin Douchebag. Well, Rodon was pretty lights out tonight. I got to say that. It was like vintage Rodon from like. I
love Rodon. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's so sick. His effort and just his this is the kind of guy you want on your team. Like he looks like he really cares and he's pissed.
Yeah.
How old is he? He's older, right?
Probably.
33, maybe 30.
Oh, okay.
He's getting right into that point where some guys stay strong and keep it together, and other guys start to slowly decay. So he was looked pretty strong. I mean, last year he was just an injury nightmare for the Yankees, right? So, oh, Schmitty's Wi-Fi is freezing up again. He's got issues. So what's it, Slayer, huh?
Dude, it was insane.
Yeah.
So my son bought all these tickets, the pass for Aftershock, and he scored 2 4-day wristbands, and then we never cinched him down. So my wife and I went on Saturday. I wanted to see Slayer on Thursday, and then her and my daughter went on yesterday. But I took the kids to go to see Slayer.
Wow.
It was just me and the kids, and I just let them go, and they ran into the pit. They were so good, mind blowing. I was tripping how good they were.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. And my kid's truck got broken into the next night. He got his phone stolen during body count. Someone cut it out of his pocket or some shit.
Body count.
Oh, yeah, man. It was funny. It was just this trippy, just crazy mix of the fucking weirdest people. Insane Clown Posse, saw them.
ICP. Gravity, how the fuck does that work?
It was insane. It was just this mix of people that were just I don't know. It was nuts. It was
like mixing in with the Juggalos and all that.
Oh, dude, it was shooting Fago off the stage and all. Dude, it was insane. What people are wearing was just freaking me out. It was.
Where was it at?
Aftershock in Sacramento. It's kind of right there in where the American River and the Sacramento River come together. It's this giant park. Outdoors? And I really wanted to see Slayer, and I didn't really have the money for it. And then my son's like, "Hey man, I scored some wristbands," and I'm like, "Oh my god, dude!" So we tied them up with fishing line to make it look like it was tight, and then you take them off, and then you hand them off the next day. It was so awesome.
Really, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Look at this. We got a McKenney comment.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what we got. I want to thank Huff and Atlas for putting me on the back of their collab shirt. R.I.P. Huff. Thanks, Andy. In a world of dark, I saw some light.
That's badass.
Oh, yeah. Tim.
Yeah, Timmy.
Brad.
Yeah.
I was trying to reach out to Tim today, actually. He's, I think he's been MIA a little bit. Fish on, maybe.
Fish on.
It's the time, man. It's going to start.
Yeah, have you been fishing in the rivers?
Man, I was going to go up to the Feather River again this week, but I've been fighting this thing. I probably had COVID, and I'm just I can't get out of it. So I'm going to fish the American tomorrow, and then go up to the Feather on Thursday or Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an all-day thing. I'm going to be up there. It's going to be a long one.
Do the salmon start? Are they now? Or?
Yeah, they're in there, but they close the season, so it's you can accidentally catch them, but there's steelhead coming in right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the winter run will be here in November or whatever.
One of these days, you got to hit me up and tell me when to get up there because I want to go. I want to catch a salmon and put it on a grill same day.
Dude,
never done that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty amazing. And when hopefully next year the salmon season will be open. But there's just been times when you're just blasting through your legs. You're standing in the river, and just a fucking 50 of them just come up the river, and they're just.
Dude, I need that.
It's life changing. That's when I got hooked. I was like, "Whoa, I've never seen anything like this." It was weird. It was weird.
I caught a sturgeon with McKenney, and that was my claim to fame fishing.
I've never caught one. Those things look gnarly.
Dude, it was insane. I think it was 5 feet or something. I think it was 53 inches, I think, something like that. And we got a photo holding it up and then just throw it back in. Because Tim caught a bunch of them, and he would get the meat and cut it up and put it in the fridge and stuff. And that shit is good on the grill. You'd be surprised how good it is out of the bay.
Steaks. Yeah.
I don't really advertise that I like eating stuff out of the bay.
Yeah.
But That was some good stuff. We had some good sturgeon for sure.
I eat shit out of the American River, and people trip on that. But
Oh, really?
if it's fresh, you can tell. There's sometimes salmon will come through, and they still got like sea lice on their tails and stuff, and that means they've only been in the system for like probably 24 hours or less, maybe a couple days at most. But if they got the sea lice on them and they're super bright, they're good. They're really good, actually. So,
yeah, they're coming up out of the cold water, so
yeah,
relatively healthy.
still 100 degrees, dude. I don't get it.
Is it? It's still Hundo up there?
It was like it's like in the 90s or whatever. People are still swimming in the river, and it's not cold.
Yeah.
Well,
oh man, Go ahead, Schmitty.
I was gonna say tomorrow we got BB versus Garrett Cole for the only game tomorrow. Guardians Yankees.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting because if Cole's on it, it's gonna be a rough call for these guys. And then I was trying to see who.
Lock up.
Oh, there we go. So, what was I going to say? You're pulling, Christian. You're pulling for Cleveland or Yankees?
I want Cleveland and I want the Mets.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland. I've kind of had like a closet love for about the last 5-6 years. Like I just
they really get so close.
Yeah, they got like, and they've had good teams. They put together good rosters and a lot of young guys that I like, but yeah, they just haven't quite been able to get there, and it's kind of like I'm pulling for them. And after their name got changed, I especially want them to win just to like, so I can say the Indians won the World Series. And
I know.
I don't care what you call them now.
I say it all the time. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like I got a little native in me. Like if anybody should be offended, it should be me, and I don't give a shit.
There's a lot of people that I know that are like native or whatever, and they're not tripping on it at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people who aren't native kind of sometimes make that issue, and it's like, well, whatever.
Well, it's funny, dude. You break it down, it's like, okay, Indian is not even a correct term. It's like these idiots sailed over here and they thought they had sailed to India, and so they called the natives Indians. It's like how can you be offended? It's like a joke. These people are like that clueless,
Stupid Europeans don't even know where they're at.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that, but it's like I just don't care. There's way bigger fish to fry than that, Yeah, totally. So, anyways, who are you rooting for? What do you?
Well, my mom, this is crazy. So my mom, she was born and raised in Cleveland and then came out to San Francisco and met my dad like in the late 50s. He was from LA and they got married and had us and all that stuff. My mom saw one of the last games. Well, she was at the 1948 World Series when Cleveland last won a World Series.
Wow.
So she saw one of the games. My mom was pregnant with me when the Giants were playing in the 1962 World Series.
Yeah.
And then my wife was pregnant with my kid when the Giants were playing the Cardinals in the NLCS in like, what was it, 2001? Right?
Oh, 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this connection. So I've always pulled for the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah,
because of my mom, and it's funny because she died in '96, so she had cancer and she was super sick, and it was like in October when she passed away, and the fucking Cleveland Indians were playing the fucking Atlanta Braves in the World Series while my mom is just barely hanging on, and it's cruel or whatever, and the Braves ended up winning, and it was crazy because the guy that I went to high school with was playing shortstop for the Braves at the time. This guy, Jeff Blauser, he was from Auburn where I grew up. And it was just this whole fucking connection of things going on. And the Indians didn't win.
Influence and stuff. Yeah. I like the Indians way back too, because a lot of Giants that kind of like petered out in San Francisco ended up with the Indians. Gaylord Perry ended up pitching for the Indians. Dwayne Kuiper played for the Indians, right?
I remember Kuiper as an Indian. It's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, I think he did better in Cleveland than he did in San Francisco, honestly.
I think he did, right?
Yeah. So
Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton.
Wait, did Kenny Lofton play for the Giants?
He did.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
and
know
the
that.
Indians.
Dude, there's a lot of random, like when you go back and you start looking at Baseball Reference, you go to the rosters year by year for the Giants, like dudes that you're like, oh, I forgot, like Willie McGee played for the Giants, man.
that's right.
You know, like there's so many, and you're like, what? Darryl Strawberry? Is it Darryl Strawberry? Is that right?
Yeah.
Dude.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. You know, these are guys that like they came for like a year, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Randy Johnson. I mean, it's nuts when you go back. So I don't
Joe
know.
Morgan?
But, yeah, Joe Morgan. But hopefully this coming year we're gonna start to see a new way of doing things, and gonna start seeing some real star power that comes and sticks around for a few years instead of one and done. You know, we'll see.
So maybe next week you're saying GM's going to get picked, right?
Schmitty seems to think like right around the end of the World Series, and I think I tend to agree with that. I think there's probably too much chaos going on right now that they want to try to like really take their time, since nothing goes on in baseball transactions from now until the World Series ends.
I guess so, right?
Not happening.
I think Giants are going to already have a general manager, but they won't announce it till after the World Series.
Yep. That's possible.
Because it's like a competition, you know, like they don't want to be like outshining a playoff game or something, like with the media.
Yep.
So
Will they be
do like
in-house,
that.
do you think, or they go outside?
I'm hoping it's Owens from the A's.
Yeah. Putia's gone. They fired him. So whether they rehire him in at some other position, but he was like technically the GM, and then Farhan was the Pobo, right? So both of them are out, and it'll be interesting. The guy from the A's, I think that would be a good choice. You know?
Yeah,
I'm still kind of Posey, man. I don't know. It's cool. It's just cool.
People. I get so sick of like the people that I don't know if I can even call them fans or not. It just seems like people like to be the devil's advocate. It's kind of like, oh, you got someone, you blew it. You didn't get anyone, why didn't you get someone? Like, it's like they just take whatever the opposite stance is and they get crazy, like virtuoso about it and stuff. And so many people talk about the money and stuff, and I'm just like, who cares? Like, it's not your money. Like, if the ticket price increases, okay, the beer prices increase like dramatically, like, okay, but like, I don't see that happening. I mean, everything happens with inflation, but it's not like they're going to get Juan Soto, pay him $1 billion, and then all of a sudden the tickets are going to be like $100 a game. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah, it could be incremental, but I mean, that's the price you pay. You want to see a winning product on the field. Yeah, unfortunately, those garlic fries are going to go up $1. You know.
Well, the Giants have the money to spend.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
So let's stop spending it on these guys that like coming off of Tommy John. I mean, Matt Boyd, he's another guy that was on the Giants, but he didn't ever even throw a pitch as a Giant.
Yep.
It's just like they pick up these guys. Like Robbie Ray was an experiment, and hopefully it works out. But this is like the Farhan way, was like the Disclafanis, the guys. Who was the guy, the lefty from the Cardinals? Drew Smiley. They were like these projects, like, oh, we can pay this guy real low and then bring his talent out. Like, and it worked a couple of times. So then they thought like, oh, this is our way. And it didn't work a lot of times.
They just think they're going to have that one good season out of him, and it's going to push them over. And it's like,
well, they will do the 1 year and an opt-out too. So you just never even get used to having a regular guy on the team. And then with the platooning, it's just ridiculous, right? You just like, okay, Lamont Wade and Wilmer Flores are platooning at first base, and then Lamont Wade's gone. Okay, shit. I'm glad I didn't buy his jersey.
Yeah, and the thing is, like with that Rodon deal, it's like everybody thinks like, oh, Farhan's a genius. Like he used this guy up for the one good year he had, and then he shipped off, opted out, and then he barely pitched last year. He was a mess, right?
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Like, I'm not really interested in fixer upper starter home ease. Right? Like, I just don't want that. I don't want the guy shopping at TJ Maxx. I don't want the dude he'll be able to pitch sometime in September. You're like, come on, man.
Well, so that's what the unknown is right now. We don't know Buster's style on any of this stuff, and we don't know who the general manager is. And once we do know who the general manager is, we probably aren't going to even know his style completely. So the off season could be anything. It could be complete overhaul to the minor league and start working on the youth, or it could be like bringing in a Soto or something in between. Like, we just don't know.
Well, I think the one thing we can kind of agree on that's possible is that Buster probably wants everyday players on this roster. He doesn't want like this whole switch, matchup deal. I mean, it's great when you have like one or two utility guys that can fill in, dudes that can come in and play defense in later innings. Maybe they don't have a hot bat, but they can play really good defense. And the Giants have had a history, especially in the championship years, of having mostly a solid daily lineup with a couple of like super subs coming in off the bench, right? And I think that's a functional formula. So we'll see. Yeah,
close. I think we just got 3 positions to fill. Like first base and right field have been the platoon. I mean, we're going to have Ramos every day left. We're going to have Jung-Hoo Lee in center every day, Chapman at third, and probably Fitz at second. Hopefully we pick up a shortstop that's an everyday shortstop, Bailey catching. So we just need to figure out first base and right field. And that's why Glenn and Eric keep saying Soto is the chosen one,
Yeah.
Well, right? Pitching's okay for the Giants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have a lot to work with, and they have guys that like Hicks, for example. Hicks is probably not going to be a starter this coming year. He's going to be in the bullpen, which is great because he's a great relief guy, late inning guy. But starter, he ran out of gas 2/3 of the way through the year. Then he got hurt, so it's like he can't throw that kind of gas for 6 innings. It's not sustainable throughout a season. But they do have a lot. They got young guys, they may make some trades, they may move some dudes. But I think the pitching is pretty good, I mean, they're going to need a starter to replace Snell if he's gone. They're going to need another lefty of some capacity as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was looking back. So is the last time the Giants made a significant trade, like a blockbuster trade, was that they didn't trade for Chris Bryant, did they?
They acquired him at the trade deadline.
Okay.
But so I don't know what they oh man, I don't even remember what they said.
Because I was thinking it was the Mets guy that we got, right? Like for Wheeler.
God, Beltran?
I mean, what? I can't remember a big.
Carlos Beltran.
Did we trade for Hunter Pence?
Hunter Pence. I don't know if we traded for Hunter Pence. He might have been a free agent.
But because he had played of the season too.
He had played in Houston and Philly, right? So I'd have to look it up. I don't remember now. I mean,
Hunter Pence was Houston and Philly before the Giants. Is that right?
Yeah. And then he went to Texas for a year or two and then came back to the Giants.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
But I was just off the top of my head, I don't remember a lot of big trades. And trades are so exciting, right? Like it's so interesting to see who the other team's going to want for the guy that we want. Like we keep talking about Vladdy or Bichette, like either or both. And it's like, okay, that's great because who do we have that they would want that we're willing to give up? Like that's so gnarly, right? Like it's like, okay, they want Eldridge, and you're like, no, we're not giving up Eldridge. Okay, they want Logan Webb. No, we're not giving up Logan Webb. So what's reasonable to think that could happen? And I think that's why you go back to like Adames makes sense because he's a free agent. It's so much easier to pay money to get a guy than to wheel and deal. It almost seems like you kind of have to lose the trade to make a trade.
Well, you're going to be giving up some unknowns, like I'm kind of the mind lately that if they wanted to trade Doval, if they wanted to trade Casey Schmidt, even though I really like Casey Schmidt and I think he's got potential, even Harrison, I think those are potential trade pieces that could get them back a pretty hefty return, right?
I don't know. I think Harrison for sure, but I don't know about Schmidt. I don't know what Schmidt's value is. And Doval after last year is probably really low right now.
Well, yeah, he didn't perform, but I mean, the talent is undeniable. The skill is there. The arm is there. The stuff is there. It's whether you can get his head right, and sometimes it's just a change of venue for dudes, I mean, we were talking about this the other night. Dubon, right? He was pretty much a zero in San Francisco with a huge ego, and then he goes to Houston, and he's a powerhouse in Houston, and he talks shit like about San Francisco. It's like, yeah, okay, sometimes that's the price of doing a deal, And they just released him, right? Like they just let him go. I think.
Maybe. I don't know, but Dubon was kind of the beginning of the era where they were fucking these young guys over. I mean, Ramos going back and forth all the time. Dubon not playing consistently. Like, it was crazy, the mix and match lineups day after day after day. The one year that Gabe was manager after the 107 win season, I think that they broke the record for most amount of players on a team in one season. How many people came through the minors and they did all this back and forth and then bring in a new guy for a week and then trade him. It was so nuts. And it was funny because I've been, my new guilty obsession is collecting autographs. So I was like, this is hilarious because I got like 60 different people because of that year. It was nuts.
Well, what is it they always talk about since Barry Bonds left? Opening day every single year has been a different left fielder.
Yeah, never
starting guy
left fielder twice.
Yeah, on opening day, never once the same guy started on opening day.
Ramos is going to break that unless they trade him. They're
not trading Elliot Ramos. No way.
Hey, if it's for the right person, you never know. I don't want him to.
I don't think there is a right person to trade. He's a unique talent. He's in-house, homegrown, and he really flourished this year once he got the opportunity to play every day. And I think that they need to use that as the archetype and the model for how they're going to treat young players when they bring them up. Like, this is your responsibility, man. You got to do it. You got to get out there and you got to do it every day. And I think that works. So
yeah,
we'll see. So, hey, listen, day after tomorrow, this Dodgers-Mets matchup, I like this. Buehler, 0-1, 10.8 ERA in the playoff. Luis Severino, 1-0 with a 4.5 ERA. Okay. Buehler has no strikeouts. Severino's got 10.
Well, Buehler's been a mess this year. And this is what I was saying earlier is like the Dodgers bullpen is going to start to get gassed because Buehler's not going to throw more than 3 innings. Like, you just know that. Like, he's not ready for it yet. It's too early. So the bullpen comes in again after a bullpen game.
Yeah.
Then they really have to get a lot out of Yamamoto. And so maybe Yamamoto throws 5 or 6 good innings, and then Flaherty does the same thing. But I don't know. We're going to have to see how the bullpen reacts after getting used more and more throughout the series.
Yeah. I predict that Flaherty's next outing against the Mets is not going to go nearly as well as yesterday. I think the Mets, the travel day and the layoff. I mean, dude, it was almost a week since they last played, right? The Dodgers were playing, since the division series started all the way through right up to that.
Oh shit, they were off that long. They were off.
Yeah, the Mets closed out their their series last Tuesday.
Oh shit!
So they had all that time in between, and like I don't think their heads were game ready yesterday. Today they brought it,
Yeah.
So it's going to get interesting. They go back to New York, and Walker Bueller's they're just going to jump all over this guy. I have a feeling,
Oh, for sure. That's pretty much. I think that's for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm sure the following game is going to be a TBD. Let's see. Oh no, they got Yamamoto penciled in. The Mets are actually TBD for game 4. Yeah.
Oh,
so, interesting.
Well, the ghost of Tom Seaver, maybe.
Could be. I want to know how many pitchers are on the Dodgers playoff roster. I mean, how many different dudes can come into a game? There's guys
got 13, 14.
Yo, something crazy. Kasparius. Who the hell is this dude? There's like these people. You're like, I've never heard of this guy. We're in their division. It's been a whole season. It's like, who are all these pitchers?
It's bonkers.
Crazy.
They throw gas though, man. That one guy threw 102 the other night. I was like, damn.
Yeah, crazy, right? And they left Vesia off the league championship series roster.
Oh, did they? He must have been hurting.
I don't know. Probably a smart move. The Giants beat the shit out of Vesia every time they saw him. He's like the one bullpen guy that they always got over on.
Well, I thought Trinan was a little suspect too. I didn't think he's that consistent.
He did okay against the Giants, but he's weird. I mean, I don't know. I think his longevity is starting to thin out. I don't think his arm is what it was, and I think he's more injury prone now.
Dude, I want to see Timmy Trumpet come out as Grimace with the horn, like Grimace.
Might happen. They clowned that guy hard in Atlanta during that doubleheader, where he was just getting racked, and they start playing that trumpet music. It was so fucked up, man. It was bad. I mean, you got to hand it to the people in the stadium there. It's just like, dude, this will really tilt them out. They just start playing his music. So, anyways, well, fuck. Schmitty's frozen up again.
Oh, look at that. That looks amazing.
He was messing with me the other night because it had like got choppy for a second. And then I said, hey, you're frozen up. And then he was going, what? Serious?
Oh, he was. Yeah.
It was like a kung fu movie, right?
My internet here is okay, but my phone, I can't even make a phone call from my house.
Really?
Like, you can hear me. If I walk out to the street, I can make a phone call. So everything I have to do is through text.
They don't have those big fake palm trees on your street up there?
There's one like fucking 400 yards away.
Oh, God.
It sucks. I'm over it. Verizon's been dropping the ball.
Oh, look at this. We got double Schmitty now. Double frozen Schmitty. Oh, man. He was smiling before. Now he just looks bummed in the freeze frame. Like, oh.
Dr. Freeze, man.
You been riding around a skateboard at all, Curtis?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of had this thing. I had this health issue. I got afibrillation. I think I was telling you with my heart.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of address that. Then I got fucking vertigo.
Oof.
And so I have like a leftover from that. So I'm trying to work through it, man. It's like I get all hyped and I go, okay, I'm going to go skate. And then everything starts going.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah. So I'm just learning to be patient.
Okay.
61. What can I do?
Yeah. Well, I hope that resolves for you. I know I seen your boy Cunningham out there getting all feisty on the skateboard.
I've been hitting him up and I'm like, what's up, old man? You've been getting hot.
Yeah.
He just plays it down. Dude, have you seen that Ron Cameron video that he just did? Dude, it's
no. Is it?
He's like 55, 56.
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck, dude. It's good.
He lives down here. He's out in Coachella Valley, Palm Springs area.
Yeah, Palm
And he was having some art show out there, and I go out there periodically, and I was like, I should really like drop in on that, and then I missed it somehow, and it's like, but I know he's out that way.
He's always got something going on, like some art thing or music or skateboarding, and somehow he became in charge of Jonathan Winter's like art collection or some shit. Or I don't even know the whole story, but it happened. And it was like, weird.
Well, it's good that he's out there because, dude, Palm Springs is home of some of the worst public art you've ever seen in your life.
I've been through there once or twice. It was weird.
Yeah, and they have like some huge like painting shows and stuff there, like art festivals. What? Look at this.
Hey, Mike,
just laughing.
Hey,
He did that.
Coming tomorrow. The cable guy's coming tomorrow.
Yeah. What was hilarious is like you froze up and you had this big grin on your face and like you were laughing, and then you came back and you froze up. You froze up again and you were just like it was good, man.
Two extremes of expression was awesome.
Well, I think we should wrap it up before
it
goes bonkers. Thanks for joining, Curtis.
Yeah, I love doing this, and I'm
gonna go back and watch what you guys were talking about while I was frozen because I couldn't hear anything.
Cool. Well, right on, dude. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets. Beat LA and Guardians, Yankees. Game 2 tomorrow. You guys gonna be watching it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If they can get up off the mat, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, look at how the other series is going. It's like the home team took the first one pretty much, easy decision. And in the second game, the Mets came back and looked pretty strong today. And the fact that they had a 6-0 shutout going into the later innings was okay. I'm with that. Didn't feel like they were just going to get torched. So
everybody can get beat, man. Nobody won 100 games or more this year. It's like people, these teams can be, it's kind of wide open.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what Salvo would say, right?
What?
Fuck the Dodgers.
Perfect.
And with that, we out.
All right.
Later, guys.
Later.